Alright, so everybody, we're back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. So it has been 1 full week since the NBA season has started. A lot of things have gone down since then, and today we're going to go through all the teams and just things that I like, don't like. It's just my thoughts so far 1 week into the NBA season. Now, a little disclaimer. Actually, I'll do it after. But yeah, thank you guys for views on videos in the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you're doing content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, and also like that. Really appreciate it. Really did a lot. All my links to all my other stuff, Twitter, TikTok, all stuff in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So a little disclaimer before we start the video. I'm actually recording this on Tuesday before the games tonight. So before tonight's TNT games, Knicks, Cavs, Spurs, Suns, all that. So yeah, we're not gonna talk about those games, and the records might change while you're watching the video. My bad, but you know, you get a general idea of every team so far through a few games. So every team has played at least 3 games so far this season. Some have been 4. And yeah, we're just going to go by records. We're going to go from the top of the league to all the way to the bottom. So we'll start with the undefeated teams. The first team we're starting with is the reigning champs, the Denver Nuggets. They are 4-0, the only 4-0 team so far this season. And yeah, they look like the best team in the league. They look like the best team in the league. They should be respected as the best team in the league. Just a well-oiled machine, man. Well-oiled machine. Going out there, they're doing everything that they want to, and a lot of the big thing was going to be about their young bench, guys like Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Ish Smith leaving this team. Well, the young guys have stepped up and played pretty good. Payne Watson looks great on both ends. Offensively, he's hitting shots, and defensively, he's really making his mark. A lot of blocks, a lot of steals, just looking like a really good defender. Christian Brown looks like he's making winning plays. Reggie Jackson has been really good so far off the bench for them. And yeah, their bench looks really good, but then their starters, Nikola Jokic. So far he's averaging 26, 12, and 8 per game. Jamal Murray's averaging 20. Aaron Gordon has been solid. Michael Porter Jr. has been rebounding the ball very well, and he's finally finding his stroke the last 2 games. Yeah, the Nuggets look really, really good. That's all we gotta say. The Nuggets are really good. They're 4-0, and yeah, they look like they're gonna make another big run, man. It's crazy. Next, we got 2 3-0 teams. We'll start with the Boston Celtics. They are 3-0. Of course, they made the big moves at the deadline. Not the deadline, in free agency before the season started. And they look pretty good so far. They had a tough game against the Knicks to start the season that, they won late. Then they beat the Miami Heat. And then last night they routed the Washington Wizards. But, yeah, they look really, really good. Porzingis, so far in the Celtic jersey, has looked pretty good. He's averaging 20 and 7 with 2 blocks per game, shooting 58% from the field, 47% from 3. Derek White has been really good as well, averaging 15, 4, and 4. Drew Holiday's been solid. The only thing probably is their bench. Their bench is not really providing much, but when you have a starting lineup like that, with Tatum and Brown can combine for 69 points like they did last night, Porzingis can put up 25, and Derek White and Drew Holiday making plays on both ends, and Al Horford come in and rebound the ball and play good defense. Yeah, it might be a problem later down the line, but for now, the starting five has been really good. The Celtics have been, they're 3-0 to start the season. They've looked pretty good so far. And the last undefeated team we have left is the Dallas Mavericks, who are 3-0. Luka Doncic is on his way to an MVP season. So far, if we had to vote right now, Luka is the MVP. He's averaging 39, 11, and almost 10 assists, shooting 55% from the field and 48% from 3. He has been absolutely lights out, insane. First game against the Spurs, he closed it out with some big shots. Then he had a game against the Nets where he put up 49 points, hit a crazy one-hand off glass game winner. And then last night against the Grizzlies, he dominated the first half, and the second half he just let his teammates do their thing. But yeah, he's been absolutely insane, leading the Mavericks' undefeated record so far. It's been him. Kyrie's been solid. He only played in 2 of the 3 games. Tim Hardaway Jr. has also been pretty good, averaging 19 points per game, bringing some energy off the bench. Grant Williams is playing solid. Josh Green is doing solid. Derek Lively so far has been impressive through the first few games of the season. Even Derrick Jones Jr. is coming in and looking like a quality player. The Mavericks look pretty solid so far. Of course, it's been Luka hard carrying, but 3-0 is 3-0, and they're undefeated so far in the Western Conference thanks to Mr. Doncic. We also have 2 teams that are 3-1, starting with the Golden State Warriors. They lost their first game of the season against the Nets. Against the Suns, and since then they've won 3 in a row. Steph Curry has been phenomenal, averaging 33 points a game so far the first few games of the season. He's been great. Clay, after getting off to a rough start, he's been kind of picking it up. Chris Paul has looked really good so far with the Warriors. Coming off the bench now that Draymond Green is back, that he looks pretty solid. He's controlling the tempo and the pace pretty well, getting guys like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Gary Payton good looks. He's been hitting his mid-range jumpers as well. Like he looks pretty good so far. Chris Paul does. Looking like a really nice fit in Golden State. Jonathan Kuminga has been very solid the first 2 games of the season, averaging 11 points. Moses Moody has been really good so far, shooting 41% from 3. Garrett Payton has come in and shooting 40% from 3. The Warriors look good right now. You know, even without Draymond really getting into it, he's only played 2 games so far. Chris Paul is looking good. They got the bench, young guys, Kuminga and Moody finally playing well. Steph Curry is Steph Currying. The Warriors, they look good right now. See how long this is gonna hold up. We'll see. But right now, the Warriors have been solid. You know, I like that Chris Paul has come in. And he's been the perfect fit, and has been doing what the Warriors wanted to do with the young guys. And the other 3-1 team is the OKC Thunder. Thunder have been fun to watch. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is really good. He had that one dud game against the Denver Nuggets the other day. But so far, he's averaging 26, 7, and 6 with 2.5 steals per game. He's been doing Shai things, you know. J-Dub, Jalen Williams, has been very, very good so far on both ends, as well defensively and offensively. You know, being a little bit catch and shoot, but also driving to the paint, scoring. Chet Holmgren, so far, is averaging 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and almost 3 blocks per game with a steal, shooting 60% from the field and 62% from 3. He's the perfect fit for this Thunder team. He's what they really needed last season. A big that can defend the rim very, very well. Also get some steals. He's very good defending the rim, man. And then offensively, he can hit the 3. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He's nice. Lou Dort has been solid at the start of the season as well, shooting almost 40% from 3. Josh Giddey has been solid, even though he's not shooting the ball very well. He's had some tough shooting nights, but he's still being Josh Giddey, finding teammates and stuff. The Thunder are very fun to watch. Their starting 5 looks really, really good, man. Their starting 5 is great, but their bench as well. Cason Wallace is shooting 85% from the field right now. Cason Wallace is going to be a big part of this OKC team as well. Come off the bench as a rookie, he already looks like a veteran player, knows how to get his spots, when to get his defensively, stuff like that. Isaiah Joe is shooting the ball well. Ousmane Dieng is shooting the ball very well. The Thunder, they look like a very fun team, and people that were thinking the Thunder were going to make this big jump, they don't look crazy right now, because they're 3-1. Now we have a lot of teams, a majority of teams in the league are 2-1. We'll go through them. Start with the Indiana Pacers, who are 2-1. They've been a very fast-paced team. They're putting up 124 points per game. Of course, the Pacers are a young team that wants to get up the court. We have Tyrese Halliburton and all the guys that they have. Of course, they want to get up the court fast. Tyrese is averaging 20 and 12 assists so far. Miles Turner had a really good game against the Bulls, which was their first loss. He's averaging 17. Bennett Mathurin looks better. Bruce Brown has been very solid for them so far, shooting the 3-ball very well. Defensively, he's been what they needed. Aaron Nesmith, man. He got the contract extension right before the season, and he looks really good. He's been their 6th man. He's averaging 12 points per game, shooting 43% from the field, or 43% from 3, 52% from the field. He's also averaging 6 rebounds per game. That's a power forward. And a block. So Aaron Nesmith is in the right position right now. He looks very solid. Jalen Smith is getting minutes, and he's looking pretty good, averaging 11 points and 5 rebounds per game. Andrew Nembhard is doing his thing off the bench. Obi Toppin has not been great so far to start the season, averaging only 7 points per game, shooting 42% from the field, 25% from 3. But we're only 3 games in for them, so hopefully they get better. Surprising thing about the Pacers is no Jarace Walker. He's only played in 1 game. Jarace Walker surprisingly isn't in the rotation, which is kind of surprising, but they're going with Jalen Smith and Aaron Nesmith, and they're working right now. So I guess you gotta leave it to them. But yeah, Pacers, they're going to be a team that's going to put up a lot of points. You know, it's just really about defensively, can they lock in? And they also had a tough time closing out the game against Chicago last night. Well, last night for me, not last night for you guys. But yeah, they had a lot of open shots they just missed. But I like this Pacer team so far. They're young and fun. Next up, the Orlando Magic are 2-1. Their first loss came against the Lakers. They have been very solid to watch as well. Franz Wagner is really good, even though he's not shooting the ball well. He had a good shooting first game, then since then, been kind of off, but he's averaging 19, 5, and 3 right now. Cole Anthony as a 6th man has been great. He had a really good year last year being the 6th man. This year he's averaging almost 17 and 5 off the bench, shooting 46% of the field and 41% from 3. Love that. Paolo has not been great shooting the ball wise to start the season. He's averaging only 11 points per game, shooting 37% from the field. I think that's definitely going to change, obviously, but just very interesting to see that he's not really shooting the ball well, and he's not really being super aggressive as well. He's kind of playing more of a team-oriented game, which is interesting, but I would like to see Paolo kind of take it his own sometimes. Jalen Suggs has been very solid for them. Markelle, Gary Harris has been really good. They've just been a very solid team, you know. Of course, a lot of people Well, especially I have some expectations for them this season. So far, they look pretty solid. I wish they would have got that game last night against the Lakers. They were so close. Jalen Suggs got a really good look. He just couldn't make it. But Magic team is going to be fighting. They're not the same old Magic team. They're going to get blown out. They're going to play a really good game, and they're going to, I like that they battled the Lakers and almost won that game. That's showing some progress to this season as well, and hopefully against some other great teams, because their only two wins have been against Portland and against Houston, who are not the best right now. So we want to see them against some good teams, but so far it's been a very solid watch for Orlando. Next we have the Phoenix Suns, who are 2-1. They have not had their full team healthy so far throughout the 3 games. Bradley Beal has not played a game yet so far. Devin Booker has only played 1 game so far. So we haven't really seen this full complete Suns team yet. But I like their role player. I like that they have role players that are fine with doing the dirty work. Guys like Josh Okogie, Jordan Goodwin, Jusuf Nurkic, they're willing to sacrifice their numbers and stuff as long as it gets the team to win. Josh Okogie's been really good though. 11 points, shooting 66% from the field, 43% from 3. Eric Gordon has been solid, even though he's not shooting the ball well from 3. He's taking a lot of them, and he's been making them. KD has been KD. They almost got that one against the Lakers without Booker and Beal. They're so close. Jordan Goodwin has been solid for them. Grayson Allen had a tough first 2 games, but the last game started to wake up. Jusuf Nurkic has been very good for them, averaging 9 and 10 with 4 assists. It's been very solid for the Suns so far, especially without their full team to be there. They've been very solid. Of course, when Beal and Booker come back, it's going to make this team even better. But right now, they're decent. They're decent. Again, we don't know a whole lot about them yet because it's incomplete. Because, again, all 3 of their stars have not played yet so far. Now we have the Bucks, who are 2-1. They defeated the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat last night. They lost to the Atlanta Hawks, where Damian Lillard had a very bad game randomly. Don't expect that for him again. Giannis has been, Giannis, 27-10, only 2 assists so far, but that's because Damian Lillard has the ball a lot more in his hands. He's not shooting the ball well from the field. Of course, he also had that one game that kind of was an outlier, especially when they only played 3. That's going to be a big outlier. But Dame and Giannis, the pick and roll is great. Just got to do more of it. Brook Lopez has been very solid so far. Bobby Portis has been very good off the bench, bringing a lot of energy for them. I like that for Bobby. Malik Beasley's a starter. He's been doing pretty solid on both ends, kind of buying into his role. Their bench, obviously, is still a little bit of a question mark. One night you have Pat Connaughton and Cameron Payne shooting shots. Next night, they're not really hitting. It's going to be like that. Chris Middleton's still on a minutes restriction. He's only playing 16 minutes a game. So we don't really see this full team of Chris Middleton fully in there healthy yet. But they've still been solid. The pick and roll with Giannis and Dame is really good. They're playing a lot more faster than I've seen. They're playing a lot more in transition, a lot more pace than what I feel like I usually see with Mike Budenholzer in them. Still question marks on their bench and their defense in the backcourt with Dame and Malik Beasley. They're not the best defenders over there, especially when you had Jrue Holiday before. It's a big downgrade there, but it brings you a lot offensively. So I guess we're going to wait and see if that bites them in the end or not. Next are the LA Clippers, who they just traded for James Harden, so I don't know how to talk about them anymore. The first 3 games, though, I liked how they looked. I liked how they kind of play with a little bit of chip on their shoulder, I feel like. Kawhi and Paul George have been very, very good so far. Westbrook has fit in. Their bench guys like Norman Powell and Bones Highland have been shooting the ball very, very well, giving them a lot of energy. They did lose that one game to the Jazz. That was very tough when Paul George had 35. But their other 2 wins have been very, very good. And they're a team I like watching. And now we're going to see them with James Harden. We'll see how it changes things. The Sacramento Kings are also 2-1. They beat the Lakers their last game in overtime. They lost to the Warriors. De'Aaron Fox, fortunately, is going to miss some time, even though he's been great to start the season. He's averaging 31 and 6 assists, shooting 48% from the field. He's going to miss a little bit of time with an ankle injury that he suffered, which is unfortunate. But the Kings have been a fun watch still. Their offense is still good. Sabonis has still been, a hub down there. De'Aaron has still been clutch. Harrison Barnes had a really good first game. He's still been good to solid other games. Keegan Murray has been solid. He hasn't been as great as I thought he was going to be. But we're only 3 games in, but he's been solid. Malik Monk coming off the bench has brought a lot of energy. I like how Sasha Vezenkov has come in and done his thing. Kevin Huerter so far hasn't found it yet. He's shooting 23% from 3 and 27% from the field. Hopefully he's going to find it soon, eventually. But Sacramento's still a fun watch, still doing their thing. Interested to see what happens now without De'Aaron, how they're going to go and how long he's going to be out. Hopefully not for long. But Davion Mitchell's going to have to step up, and Davion Mitchell has not been great so far to start the season. So hopefully he can step up. Maybe he gets some Kobe Jones minutes, which I wouldn't mind. I like that. But Sacramento, fun watch still. Now you have the 76ers, who just traded away James Harden. They brought in a bunch of role players. They're 2-1. Their only loss was to Milwaukee, very close. Joel Embiid is still Joel Embiid. He's had a really good last 2 games. After the first game, he kind of played a lot more on perimeter. Didn't like how he played in that game. The last 2 games, he's been good. Tyrese Maxey. Taking the all-star jump, man. He's averaging over 30 points per game so far. He's been absolutely amazing. And now with the James Harden trade, they're giving him the full keys and saying, Tyrese, you're number 2 now. No more Harden, it's you. And they believe in him, and if he keeps this up, man, the Sixers are going to be very good if he keeps this up. Tobias has looked very solid. Still, again, worried about their bench a little bit, but now that they're bringing in reinforcements, guys like Nick Batum and Marcus Morris, maybe that will change. But Philly so far has been very solid. They're playing a lot more, not just James Harden, Joel Embiid, ISOing all the time and stuff. It's a lot more team ball. Tyrese Maxey getting involved, a lot of pick and rolls and stuff like that with Nick Nurse in there. And they're still going to be a very good team. The final 2-1 team is the New Orleans Pelicans. Their first loss was last night against the Golden State Warriors, where Ingram did not play. He's been their team leading scorer so far. He's been very solid. Zion has been all right, averaging 22, 5, and 2. He had a good first 2 games last night. He was not great. And CJ McCollum has been solid as well. Even though he's taking a lot of shots, especially a lot of 3 balls, I like it. I like that he's been taking a lot more shots. They kind of need that 3-point shot because Bray Guy likes to be in the mid-range. Of course, we know about Zion's game. So CJ being more of the 3-point threat is pretty good. Herb Jones is really good. Jordan Hawkins, who got the start last night for Barry Ingram, shooting the ball well, shooting 40% from 3 out of 5 attempts. It's just, injuries really is the only thing. Their bench looks very horrible right now. They got Matt Ryan and Kyra Lewis and are like actual rotational players. Kaiser Gates played 7 minutes last night. Their bench is tough, but hopefully once their bench comes back, guys like Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado, and Najee Marshall come back, then we can finally see this full team fully healthy, see what they're really about. But so far, they've been fun. Zion has been doing his thing. He had a good game against the Grizzlies and the Knicks. CJ McCollum is hitting the shots. B.I. has been B.I. They got guys like Herb Jones, Jordan Hawkins, who have been very solid. The Pelicans are still a solid team. They're still a team you have to watch out for. Now we have a couple teams that are 2-2, starting with the Detroit Pistons. K.E. Cunningham has been really good to start the season. He hasn't had the best of stat lines and stuff, but you can still see he looks really good, especially that first game against Miami, man. He was popping off. So far, he's averaging 21 and 7 assists. He is averaging 5 turnovers a game, but that also is because they have negative spacing on the court because Bojan Bogdanovic is not going to be there for a month, and Alec Burks is the only guy that apparently that can knock down threes. So it's going to be tough for them. But Cade has been very solid. Jalen Duren, 15 and 13 with 2 blocks per game so far. 19 years old. He has been amazing. Love it. Alec Burks is the only 3-point shooter, and he's shooting 54% from 3 off the bench. He's been good. Isaiah Stewart, the Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart front court has actually looked pretty good so far, especially with Isaiah Stewart being a lot more perimeter-centric now, taking over almost 4 threes a game, but knocking him down. So that's good to see. Jaden Ivey got off to a rough start, but especially last night, he started to find his rhythm a little bit. I love Marvin Bagley as a backup big man. He's been good. Asar Thompson, even though he's only shooting 32% from the field, and he had a good game last night, but he's been doing everything else, man. Rebounding, he's averaging 10.5 rebounds per game. He's also averaging 2.5 blocks per game. I mean, he's been really good. I love watching this Detroit team, man. They're a fun watch. They're not going to be the best team. They're not going to win 50 games and all that, but they're going to be a fun watch. They're going to have nights where Cade's going off, going to have nights where Jalen Duren's doing his thing, where Jaden Ivey's doing his thing, Asar's doing his thing, Marvin Bagley. It's very fun. And when Bojan Bogdanovic comes back, Monte Morris comes back, got more veterans, more spacing on the court, they're going to just be even better. But for right now, they've been good, man. They haven't been getting blown out and stuff. They've actually been competitive. They won some games. It's been very good for them. Chicago Bulls are also 2-2. Got a win last night against the Pacers. This team is very bad. This is probably the team I've watched maybe the least so far. It's boring to watch them, honestly. Zach LaVine had to put up 51 points, and they lost to the Detroit Pistons. Patrick Williams averaging 5 points per game. Their big three has been doing all right, but after that, you can't really get anything consistent. Alex Caruso has been solid, though. He had a big game winner as well. Torrey Craig's been okay, I guess. But after that, it's not been fun to watch the Chicago Bulls. They don't shoot threes well. They take threes. They don't shoot threes well. Defensively, they're not great. Well, defensively, they're solid, actually. Defensively, they're solid. What am I talking about? Defensively, they're solid. But besides their big three, no one else really does anything on the court for them besides Alex Caruso on defense sometimes. So yeah, it's been tough to watch over there. Now the Atlanta Hawks are also 2-2. They got a big win against Minnesota last night where DeJounte Murray had to put up 41 points in that game. DeJounte so far has been all right. Trae Young has not been able to get anything going shooting the ball. He's actually 10 assists a game, but he cannot shoot the ball to save his life. He's shooting 31% from the field and 24% from three right now. It's very bad shooting. And the thing is, the last 2 games, especially the first 2 games, they were very bad. The last 2 games, he's been getting Trae Young shots. He's been pulling threes open and like getting layups and stuff. He's just not making them. It's just weird that he's not making them. I don't know what it's about, but hopefully he can find his stroke soon. The offense, Jalen Johnson. It's been Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson's been the big spark. They started off 0-2. They won their last 2 games, beating Milwaukee and Minnesota, 2 very good teams. Well, very solid teams at least. But Jalen Johnson, he's averaging 14, 72 with 1.5 steals and a block, shooting 65% from the field and 40% from three. He got put in the starting lineup over Sadiq Bey, and he's been great, man. He's an athletic point forward that can do a lot of things. Offensively, brings a lot of energy, high flyer, can shoot the 3-ball well, looks comfortable handling the ball. Defensively, he can be everywhere because he's about 6'9". He's been the savior of Atlanta so far early in the season. DeAndre Hunter's been good as well, averaging almost 17 points per game, shooting 45% from three. Yeah, it's been okay for Atlanta. They started off very bad, and I thought, well, here we go. I believed in the Hawks, and I've lost some belief in the Hawks this season already, 4 games into the year. But Jalen Johnson has saved them. So, yeah. And the last 2-2 team is the LA Lakers. Got a big win against Orlando. Anthony Davis averaging 26, 14, and almost 3 blocks while shooting 52% from the field. AD has been all right. He's been good. Of course, he's had his moments here and there where he hasn't been great, but he's still been good general overall. LeBron is in year 21, and he's averaging 22, 8, and 6. Not shooting the ball well, but you can tell he's definitely a lot older. But besides that, the role players, people have been saying the Lakers had a great offseason. They have not been hitting so far. D'Lo had a big game last night. He had 28 and 8 assists. But don't love how D'Lo's been playing with the Lakers. I feel like he's been handling the ball a lot more and doing a lot more than he should be doing. There's a lot of times, not just D'Lo, but his offense, where LeBron or AD has an easy layup or easy shot, and they just settle for a 3-ball. Their half-court offense is not great. It's kind of just LeBron dribbling for a long time, and then eventually either taking a step back 3 or driving or finding Anthony Davis. It's either LeBron shooting the ball, AD shooting the ball down low for a little bit, and then most of the time it's D'Lo on the top of the key doing something, or Austin Reeves doing something, and then them shooting a 3. It's not fun to watch the Lakers, right? It's not super fun. They're taking a lot of threes. They're not making a lot of threes. Taurean Prince has been good, though. Austin Reeves is shooting 33% of the field. Austin Reeves has not found it yet so far. Rui Hachimura is not playing basketball for some reason. Gabe Vincent is shooting 7% from 3. Cam Reddish is averaging 2 points per game. Jackson Hayes is averaging 8 points. It has not been great. It's not a great 2-2 for the Lakers. Not an inspiring 2-2, but it's 2-2 at the end of the day. And eventually, though, Gabe Vincent's not going to shoot 7% from 3 forever, hopefully. Rui Hachimura is going to get more minutes eventually. Austin Reeves is going to start playing basketball eventually, right? Hopefully. But, yeah, it's not been an inspiring 2-2, but it's 2-2. Now we got a lot of 1-2 teams. Start with the Knicks, of course, and they play tonight, so that record might change. But for now, 1-2. RJ Barrett has been pretty good. RJ Barrett has arguably been their best player. He's averaging almost 23 points per game, shooting 47% from the field, 37% from 3. He looks really a lot more comfortable and confident in his role. Jalen Brunson's had some tough shooting days, but he's still been pretty good. Quickly off the bench is good. Quentin Grimes is going to start hitting his shots eventually, hopefully. Julius Randle has been the thing, though. Julius Randle has not had a great time to start the season. He's averaging 13 points. He's averaging 11 rebounds and 6 assists. But he's shooting 27% from the field and 30% from 3. Julius Randle is a tough shot taker, tough shot maker. That's been what his life has been like in New York. So he's kind of lives off that. So it's tough to sustain that. And right now when RJ's playing good, Jalen Brunson's playing good, Julius Randle has not been helping a lot. He's had some very tough moments, missing a lot of shots, taking a lot of tough shots. The half-court offense in New York has not been beautiful to watch either. But again, with the players they have, it's not going to be beautiful to watch. But Julius Randle has to learn has to start knocking out his shots, but also got to start learning how to take easier shots and learning how to do stuff when, Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett are shooting the ball well and he's not shooting the ball well. He's got to learn how to do other things like that. But yeah, it's 1-2, but it's not a disappointing 1-2. It's just, they're not knocking out shots. They're taking a lot more threes as well. They're taking a lot of threes. They're just not making them. But, hopefully the shots start falling. The Brooklyn Nets are also 1-2. The other team in New York, they got their first win against the Hornets. Cam Thomas is a good player. Is great, I guess. He's averaging 33 points per game, shooting 61% from the field. Cam Thomas is the best player in New York right now, maybe. Cam Thomas has been doing his thing. He's been literally like their creator offensively. It's like been like, we don't have anything here, Cam, go get a bucket. And he's been doing it. It's very crazy to see that. With Nick Claxton out again as well, Cam Thomas put in the starting lineup, and he needs to stay in the starting lineup, honestly. If Nick Claxton comes back, I don't know how you can put Cam Thomas back on the bench. He's literally been the reason why they've been in games is because Cam Thomas is dropping buckets. I don't know who comes off the bench. Maybe they bring Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson off the bench, and just go with, or maybe they bring Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie has not been great. He's had one good game, but he hasn't been great. So maybe Dinwiddie comes off the bench. I don't know. But Cam Thomas, I don't think now you can put him back on the bench after this. He's literally been the reason you've been in games. Mikal Bridges has been solid. He had a really good game last night. But it's also kind of showing Mikal Bridges maybe isn't the number one, maybe isn't a 26-point per game scorer like we thought he was going to be, which is still fine. You know what I mean? It's still okay. He's still one of the best two-way guys in the wing in the league, and he can get buckets when he needs to. But Mikal Bridges probably isn't the number one. Ben Simmons has looked pretty good. He's averaging 8, 10, and 8 with a block per game as well. So that's really good. But yeah, the Nets, the only two losses have been in close games, and I said it before the season started, the Nets are going to lose close games most likely because they don't have a guy, well, now they have Cam Thomas, but they don't have a guy, a superstar to go to where it's like, all right, here Dame, or here, LeBron, here, Steph, send us home. They don't have that, so they're going to lose some games. But if Cam Thomas can become that, then yeah, so far he's 0-2 on that. I guess the Cavs against the Mavericks, he had big shots and he missed. But if Cam Thomas can become that, then yeah, but yeah, Brooklyn, it's been an interesting 1-2, though. It hasn't been a bad 1-2. It's been 1-2, but they've been in every game. The Cavaliers also 1-2. They won their first game of the season against the Nets, where Donovan Mitchell hit a big shot, and then they lost the last two games to OKC and Indiana. Darius Garland's only played in one game so far. He looked okay in that one game. Jared Allen has not played in a game yet. Donovan Mitchell missed their last game against Indiana, or injury problems already happening in Cleveland, which sucks. But Donovan Mitchell has been great. Karis LeVert has been solid. He's not shooting the ball well, but he had a good game against Indiana. Evan Mobley, the first two games, not been great. But last game against Indiana, when no one was playing, he looked really good, so hopefully he can keep that going. Max Strus, he's been shooting the ball. He's averaging 11 threes a game. That's the thing about the Cavs. They're taking a lot more threes than usually, Do I like it a lot? Maybe. Depends on the shooter. Not everybody has to be taking a lot of threes per game. Just depends on if Max Strus can take the threes, Donovan and Darius can do whatever they want. It's just everyone else is like, okay, Karis LeVert does not need to be taking 9 3-point attempts per game right now. So yeah, and we also haven't seen this team full healthy yet, so they're 1-2, but it's kind of weird to judge them because we haven't seen them fully healthy. We haven't seen Jared Allen on the court yet. We haven't seen Darius. We've seen Darius for one game. We've seen Donovan for 2 games. We haven't seen the full team yet, but hopefully, But Isaac Okoro, I like too. I like Isaac Okoro. He's looking a lot more confident. He's averaging 13 and 6 right now, shooting 53% from the field and 43% from 3. It's only on 2 attempts, but I like it. Let's go Ice. Hopefully he can have a big season. The Hornets are 1-2. They won their first game, lost their last 2 games. LaMelo has not shot the ball well. He's shooting 25% from the field right now. LaMelo's not shooting the ball very well, but then again, he did miss a lot of time last year, and apparently I said he hasn't been fully healthy until right before the season started, so he's still trying to work his way back into shape, so take a pass, and he's the only thing that's really fun for the Hornets right now. Brandon Miller has looked very good so far through the first 3 games of the season, averaging 17 and 6, shooting 47% from the field, 43% from 3. He's bringing a lot of energy. Last night against the Nets, he sparked a comeback. His shots, he had a good game against Detroit, against Atlanta, and their one win, he had some big 3-pointers in the clutch. Brandon Miller has been very good, man. I think you got to start Brandon Miller at this point. Number 2 overall pick. He's been, honestly, your 3rd best player. Brandon Miller has to start. Who goes to the bench? besides LaMelo and Mark Williams, pick one. Honestly, pick someone. Gordon Hayward can come off the bench. PJ Washington, well, they just paid him, so maybe not. But Gordon Hayward can come off the bench. Throw Brandon Miller in that starting lineup, man. They need it. But yeah, Charlotte. It's been Charlotte, you know. It's not been horrible. It's not been fun. It's been okay. You know, you got some silver linings here and there, but they're not going to be good. And that's really the honest truth of it. The Spurs are 1-2. Devin Vassell having a great start of the season, averaging over 20 a game, shooting 55% from the field. Expected him to take a big jump, but he's been taking a very big jump so far. He's been the best player for the Spurs, arguably, to start this season. He looks very comfortable. Wemby, he's averaging 15 and 7 with 2 steals and a block. Not shooting the ball well, but you know, he's a rookie. But yeah, he's been very good. He's been living for the moment as well. The fourth quarter, every game, well, not the Clipper game actually, they lost by 40, but the 2 games, the Mavs game, he came in and sparked a comeback, but they just didn't give him the ball the last 2 minutes of the game. And against the Rockets in that fourth quarter in OT, he took over and was hitting big shots. So tell early on, he lives for the moment. He wants to be in the moment. He wants to be clutch. He is clutch. So that's a good sign. Yeah, you just got to stop fouling. Just stop fouling and play more minutes and he'll be fine. Keldon Johnson has been solid. I like the Cedi Osman has looked. Jeremy Sohan is their point guard now, apparently. It's been interesting, though, to watch the Spurs. It's fun to watch the Spurs, though. It's fun to watch the Spurs. Still a project. Still going to lose a lot of games. But it's fun. You know, they got a young, fun team. The Minnesota Timberwolves are also 1-2. Tough loss last night to the Hawks. A fourth quarter collapse. I was high on Minnesota. To start the year, I had them as a for sure playoff lock. To start the year, I had them as like the 6th seed, I think, in the Western Conference. So far, it's not been great. Not been super fun to watch either. Their 1-1 was against a Heat team that didn't play Jimmy Butler and anybody. Lost 2 games. They lost to Toronto and they lost to Atlanta. I don't know. Chris Finch might not be the guy. He has so far he has not made the best decisions. They're playing a lot more one-on-one in preseason. They went 5-0. There's a lot more team ball, passing around, getting everybody involved. So far in the regular season has not been that. Anthony Edwards is taking a lot of shots. Cat's taking a lot of shots. Cat's not shooting the ball well. Naz Reid has been good though, off the bench. You know, Rudy Gobert is looking a little bit better than we did last year. Mike Conley's been a solid vet. Their bench has been okay-ish. Jaden McDaniels just got back. He played his first game last night and had 12 points and a couple rebounds. But yeah, Minnesota has not looked great so far. I don't know what to change about it, to be honest with you. They just need to be better. They need to trust more in their teammates and pass the ball better and not collapse in the fourth quarter like they always do. The Wizards are the last 1-2 team. It's not going to be fun watching the Wizards this year. Saw that last night against the Celtics. They got 1 win this season against, who did they beat? They beat Memphis. They got 1 win. That's cool. But it's not been fun to watch. Kyle Kuzma's been all right. Corey Kispert has been pretty good. I like what I see for Corey Kispert. But Coulibaly is good defensively. Tyus Jones is still there. You know, Denny's been solid. Jordan Poole is interesting. He's interesting. His stats look okay. He's averaging 19, 3 and 3. He is averaging 4 turnovers a game and shooting 38% from the field and 21% from 3. Jordan Poole's going to have his moments where it's not looking great for Jordan Poole, but he's also going to have his fun moments. But so far, it's not been fun watching the Wizards. But we already knew that. The Wizards are going to be bad. You know, they're supposed to be bad. That's what the Wizards are supposed to be. So, not really surprised. Now we had a couple 1-3 teams. Miami Heat are 1-3. They won their first game of the season against Detroit, and they've lost their last 3 in a row. Tyler Hero has been solid. He's averaging 25 points per game. He's been good. Bam is a lot more aggressive, a lot more ready and hungry. Jimmy has been all right. He's been kind of really chill throughout the regular season. Really, they've had some guys. Jimmy and Bam have not played every game. Jimmy has missed a game. Bam missed last night against Milwaukee. Kevin Love missed a game. You know, stuff like that. Kyle Lowry has not been great to start this season. Their bench has been not great as well. You know, but we know it's about Miami. They're a team that, you know, regular season, they're going to just kind of coast. They're a playoff team, you know, so once it gets to like March or April, that's when they're going to start playing real basketball. The Jazz are also 1-3. I said about the, what did I say about? I think about the Bulls are the least team I watched. I lied. The Jazz are the team I've watched the least so far because they just play at weird times and stuff like that. But I expected the Jazz to be bad. You know, they start 1-3. They've been competitive. They've been competitive though. They've been in every game. They beat the Clippers. You know, they've been in every game. They just have not won. Larry Markkinen is showing that last year wasn't a fluke. He's averaging 25 points per game. John Collins has been solid. He's been getting a lot of offensive rebounds for this team. Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson are shooting the ball. Walker Kessler has not been great. He's not even averaging a block per game, which is interesting to see. But yeah, surprisingly, they're not playing Taylor Hendricks. But they are playing Keontae George, who's been all right. But they're not playing Taylor Hendricks. But yeah, the Jazz, you know, they're going to fight. They're going to fight. They're not going to get blown out. They're going to, you know, put some pressure on you. They're just not going to win a lot of games. The Toronto Raptors are also 1-3. They won their first game of the year in Minnesota. They lost 3 in a row. Scotty Barnes has looked pretty good. I like what I see from Scotty Barnes. He's averaging almost 21 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2.5 blocks, and a steal, shooting 52% from the field. Looks a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable, being a lot more of a lead ball handler as well with that team. Defensively, he's been really good. I like what I see from Scotty Barnes, man. I'm liking it. OG has been very solid as well. Pascal has not been great stuff this season. He's shooting just 39% from the field, 28% from 3. Pascal has not been great. Dennis Schroeder's been all right. Their spacing is horrible, dude. Like, I was watching the Portland game last night, and I was like, bro, this is bad. Like, Scotty was isoing on one end, Jakob Poeltl was setting a screen, and then you had OG, Pascal, and Dennis Schroeder on one side. Like, it just looked very bad. Their spacing is horrible. They're averaging not even 100 points per game. It's bad, man. Toronto's got to just blow it up. Toronto's got to blow it up, man. And then Portland's the last 1-3 team. They got their first win of the year last night against the Toronto Raptors. Malcolm Brogdon right now is the leading scorer. He's been very solid off the bench. He had a big game last night in their win, building up that trade value. Shane Sharp, I like what I see from Shane Sharp. He looks like he's taking the next step. A lot more creating for himself, a lot more mid-range, three-point shooting. His athleticism is off the chart. He had a crazy block last night against Grady Dick. That was just like, damn, that was insane. But yeah, Shane Sharp, I like what I've seen. Besides that, it hasn't been fun in Portland to watch. It hasn't been fun. At least if they're bad, I thought they're going to be fun. It hasn't been fun. Anthony Simons, of course, only playing one game and then getting hurt. He's going to be out for a few weeks, maybe a month or two. Like, that's going to suck. But Jamie Grant is shooting 36% from the field. Jamie Grant is literally just give me the ball and let me do my thing. DeAndre Ayton, he had 23 rebounds last night. He's averaging almost 15 rebounds a game, but he's not doing anything offensively. Scoot Henderson is having a very, very rough start to his career so far. He's averaging 4 turnovers and 4 assists. Shooting 33%. He's shooting 5% from 3. It hasn't been fun in Portland. It has not been fun. But 4 games in, hopefully Scoot's going to step it up. Anthony Simons will be back eventually. Malcolm Brogdon's going to get traded. Shane Sharp, hopefully he can continue to keep it going. But it's not been fun as I thought it was in Portland. And now you have 2 teams that have not won a game yet so far this season. The Rockets are 0-3. Kind of similar to Portland. It has not been as fun as I thought it was watching the Houston Rockets. Alperen Şengün has been very good. He's averaging 19, 9, and almost 7. He's their best player, and they're giving the ball to him, and he's making plays, so I like that. But besides that, it hasn't been really fun. Jalen Green had a rough start. He's starting to get better a little bit, but I don't know. It feels like he hasn't really taken a big step this season. Jalen Green hasn't. Jabari Smith has not shot the ball well so far. He hasn't taken the big sophomore leap that I thought he was going to take. Their bench is bad. Their bench has not really brought a lot of things. Cam Whitmore is not playing for some reason. Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet have been alright. But, yeah, this Rockets team, people had a little bit of expectation. Didn't have big expectation. Not saying they're going to be a playing team or anything like that. But at least look better. And they look a tiny bit better. But they don't look as much better as I feel like they should look. Then again, we're only 3 games in. They still got 79 more games to play. But right now, 3 games in, they don't look as much better as I thought they were going to look. And finally, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 0-4. It's just been unlucky for Memphis, honestly, because it's not like they're 0-4 and it's a disgusting 0-4. Like, they've been in every game. They've been in every game and almost won every game. They just unfortunately lost every game that they've been in. And that's also because not having John Morant, not having a star. They've just been hit with the unlucky bug. the Grizzlies, I don't know what they did to piss off the basketball gods, but they have, because Steven Adams out for the year, Ja's out for 25 games, Brandon Clark, we don't know when he's going to come back. They've lost, they're 0-4. It's very tough. Desmond Bane has been solid. He had one bad game, but since then, Desmond Bane has been solid. Jaren has been all right. Marcus Smart has been good. Xavier Tillman has brought some things. Zaire Williams doesn't look bad. Their bench is not great. That's because, again, they have to play Jake LaRavia and David Roddy, Zaire Williams 30 minutes a game. Like, that's why. But they've been in every game. They just gotten unlucky. That's what it is. They've gotten unlucky in every game. They're 0-4. Am I worried? Maybe a little bit, because depending on when if their record is bad when Ja gets back, it's going to be tough for them to win. They still have 21 more games of no John Morant, but we'll see what happens over there in Memphis. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications on, stuff like that. Really appreciate it. We have a lot. Dang, this is a really long video. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.